There is something so special about knowing that you can pick yourself up. And I don't care where you are in life, if you are breathing, you still have life to live. You can start a new hobby, a new job if you wanted to, a new relationship. You can do what you need to do to revive yourself. And knowing that and owning that is such a huge part of knowing your self-worth, knowing your value, knowing who you are outside of the things. Hola familia. Welcome back to Tiffany TV. Immediately going into bevvy of the day, I have water with a liquid IV in it because I've been trying to get my electrolytes up or keep my electrolytes up. And I have the ice cubes that you can freeze and clean and reuse because normally in like my cocktails or even with wine, like if I have a warm wine that I want to chill, I can use these because they don't melt in your drink. And I hate a watered down drink. And that is what I'm drinking. Let me know in the comments what you have brought as your bevvy of the day. Now today's topic is all about self-worth and really diving into whether you value yourself. Now, a lot of people here have gone through life in relationships and friendships, in jobs, in places that have made them feel unworthy. Or maybe you've just kind of been going with the flow in places you felt like you needed to be. Maybe you've grown from who you once were to who you are now. And now that your eyes are open and maybe you've been watching some of these videos or just growing in yourself and figuring some things out, and you look around now and you're like, I don't fit into this anymore. And I think once we realize something is no longer aligned, or once we look around and realize we're in unhealthy situations, getting from that space to a healthy space is a hurdle. I found that one of the most important components of that is knowing your self-worth. This goes along, of course, with my video on self-trust, which I will add here. The love that you're looking for, which is 2 of my favorite videos. And I'll tag that here too. Learning self-love, learning to trust yourself, but knowing your value so that you know the people, the places, the opportunities to give your energy to is vital in getting to that next step. It's also vital in your confidence. When you know your worth, it makes it so much easier to make transitions that seem almost impossible. And so we're really going to dive into that today because for me personally, so many of the big decisions I made were at a very young age. I was in college when I met my husband. So many of my friendships came from high school. And so over the years, I've had to relearn myself, and I've had to build my self-esteem and build my self-worth while already in so many of these big decisions of my life, if that makes sense. I've found that so many of the things that I accepted when I was younger were because I did not know my self-worth. I didn't even know that was a word, okay? I was just so committed to things and to people and so locked in on them that I never really got a chance to know who I was. And I remember I went through this period where I began to date myself. I began to just take myself out on dates. To painting classes, I did a burlesque class. I used to just go to coffee shops and went to a restaurant by myself. Now, if you knew me when I was younger, I was very introverted. I would never do anything like that. I always needed somebody to be somewhere with me. I didn't want to be the awkward person, by myself or in a room. I don't want to make small talk. Like, I'm not going anywhere by myself. But I remember there was this one year that I just really was like, I don't know myself. And I don't like that when no one is around. I feel like I need to find somebody to hang with. I need to be around other people. And I started to just dig into what I really liked and like getting to know myself and realizing the depth of myself. It really helped me along in this journey because it let me see that I'm okay. It let me see that I'm really great just on my own, without titles, without relationships or friendships or anybody by my side, without accolades, that just me alone. I can walk in a room and I am enough. That really started the trend. This was a while ago, but it started the trend of me really pouring into myself and getting to know myself and trying to figure out who I was. And that is such a huge part and a huge component that a lot of us are missing, is the getting to know who you are so that you can appreciate who you are. And then you can have that thought, you have that in the back of your mind at all times, like, I am really cool without this person near me. I am really cool in or out of this relationship. I can have fun. I can go meet people. I can pour into myself. And sometimes we don't know that because we're always with people. And so we feel like our worth is attached to a person, a friendship, a relationship, being a wife or being a mom. And we don't ever find the time to just date ourselves, because then you get to see, again, you get to see who you really are. It's just like dating when you get to see the depth of that person, right? It's the same thing. Who am I when I'm in this class, when I'm dancing, when I'm painting, when I'm at dinner by myself? What do I order? You know what I mean? How am I when I'm talking to the waiter and I'm by myself? And you build that confidence in yourself. I mean, whatever you decide to do. That was fun for me because you guys know I tell you all the time, I'm a foodie. I love my bevvies. So taking myself out on food dates was only right. But that's such a huge part that we tend to skip over. Now, this video, once again, is sponsored by Skillshare. We love our family over at Skillshare. Some of us are not ready for that jump, right? We're not ready for the going out by ourselves to take a cooking class or going to an art class by ourselves. And I get it. All right. So Skillshare is the largest online community for creatives with thousands of classes in film, in the arts, in freelancing, in entrepreneurship, anything that you are looking for that you kind of want to test the waters before you step out. You can find them on Skillshare. I've told you guys I love music and I don't care how long it takes. I will learn the keyboard. That's what I'm dedicated to on Skillshare are the keyboard classes and just honing my skill with that. But I really do want to try something new. Like I love the cooking classes, the painting classes, and the drawing classes. And with my Skillshare membership, when you are a member, you have access to thousands of classes, so you can dibble and dabble to see what you really like and what intrigues you. Taking the time to challenge your brain, challenge your mind to these different things that you usually do not let yourself do can allow who you really are to come forward when you break out of your regular everyday schedule. And if you already have an idea of what you want to do or you find one thing that you're really in love with, they also have learning paths. And learning paths are already curated playlists that you can start from the beginning and go all the way to the end. And it takes you step by step by step so that by the time you get to the end of it, you feel more like an expert in that field and like you've really gotten something out of it. It's not just a one-off class. And so, of course, I'm going to put the link right below, and the first 500 people to sign up with the link will receive 1 free month of Skillshare. And I have worked with Skillshare multiple times because I'm very, very passionate about not only focusing on fixing the relationships and on your everyday tasks of being a mom and taking care of your home, your responsibilities and work. It is so important to take the time to let your brain just relax. Something that is just for you. I'm always going to push that on this journey as we learn together and as we grow together and as we heal together. I'm always going to push finding an outlet, a healthy outlet, going out to find new friends, trying new classes, trying new things. Just step out of your comfort zone and try something new. And when people say step out of your comfort zone, it doesn't always have to be this thing that is like insane. It can literally be trying a class. Just don't forget yourself along this journey. Don't forget that you are a human and that you are still growing. There is something so special about knowing that you can pick yourself up. And I don't care where you are in life, if you are breathing, you still have life to live. You can start something new. You can start a new hobby, a new job if you wanted to, a new relationship. You can do what you need to do to revive yourself and to enjoy yourself. And knowing that and owning that is such a huge part of knowing your self-worth, knowing your value, knowing who you are outside of the things. So I wanted to read a comment that I received and the reply that I gave her because I feel like self-worth applies to this as well. It was under my solitude video and she said, I recently started dating again after a long period of isolation and healing, but I'm realizing that I'm having a hard time letting people in 100%. Could you share some advice on how you dated while still working on yourself? Now, you guys know I've been married for 6 years and in a relationship for 16 years. But my response to her was, from the outside looking in, or as advice that I would give myself, build a very loving and solid relationship with yourself. Make sure you truly love and like you first. Be clear about what you want and what boundaries you have set in place. Be open to someone who sparks your interest and maybe everything you didn't know you wanted, because it'd be like that sometimes. But I say all of that to say, trust yourself. Trust the work you've done enough to know that if someone oversteps your boundaries, you will protect yourself, knowing your self-worth. Open up if it feels right, and always know you have an option to remove yourself. But we know being closed off will never allow us to find the love we're looking for. I hope that helps a little. Now, I wanted to read that because when you start to know your true value, it's a delicate balance, right? Because it can feel like, now that I am in this healthy space, out of the toxic relationship, out of the toxic friendships, after I've done this healing, after I've come through, and now I'm feeling really good about myself, right? I've done the work to trust myself, pour into myself. I am scared to get back into these relationships, right? It can really feel like I've done all this work. I just want to stay in my peaceful bubble and I don't want anyone to come in. And listen, if you decide that for the rest of your life you want to date and not have anything serious, if that is what you decide for yourself, more power to you. We are all here with different purposes. We are here with different assignments. I know that I am a relationship girl. I know that I am a friendship girl, a community girl. Everyone I know is in need of healthy connection. The people that I know that say they don't need healthy connection are closed off, are going through something that they haven't healed through. And this is what I've witnessed personally. I haven't come across someone that I see that is healthy in communicating and feels healthy about their friendships, relationships, and their value and their worth. And then also be like, I can do without people. I don't care to have connection. Most of the people that I see that are the happiest, that are healed, that know their self-worth, that have done the work in themselves, they're very much like, I am only open for healthy relationships and healthy connection. If after doing the self-trust work and, learning to love yourself before you are expecting this from other people, you feel like you're in this place of like, yeah, I know my value now. I know what I will accept and what I won't. But yet you still feel like, but I don't want to give anybody a chance and don't want to let anybody in. There's still work to uncover there. There's still walls that we gotta pull down. There's still a sense of trust that you have to have with yourself and a sense of knowing what you will allow and what you won't allow. Knowing how valuable your time is, your energy is, knowing how much of a privilege it is to open up to someone, right? Everybody shouldn't be able to get that. To pull your walls down and then let them in. Your energy is not for everyone. Your time is not for everyone. Your body is not for everyone. And knowing that and going on a date or dates and getting to know somebody, you have to put the work that you've been doing to actual practice. It is one thing to sit in a room by yourself and to journal and to, talk to your friends about it. Even me sitting here talking to you on video, you don't know how many things I've been tested with behind closed doors since making these videos. And I swear God has made me make these videos so that as I'm going through hard moments, I can go back and watch them. The way I have gathered myself in these videos, watching them back, like, girl, what are you doing in this moment? This is what you said, so this is what you're gonna do. It's easy to talk about it. It's easy to journal about it. It's easy to, once you have walked away from the things that made you feel less than, that made you not feel valuable, or maybe in places that you weren't valued, I should say. Because once you get to this point, you're not going to let anybody make you feel invaluable anymore or make you feel less worthy. No one can take that away from you, right? Anybody that threatens that or that does not see your value and does not respect that, you have the option of removing yourself. Starting to listen to your intuition is important. I read something one time that changed the way I looked at intuition forever. And it said, I don't know it verbatim, but it said basically your intuition is the higher parts of you picking up on something that your physical human self can't see, right? We don't see the evidence of it. We can't see it, but we feel the energy of it. Our spirits and our higher selves, our higher senses feels the energy of it. And even if you don't know what it is exactly, when you know that something feels off, take a break, step away. And for me, when I am in a situation where I feel like my intuition is going off and I don't know what to do, I pray on it. That has brought me more answers than digging deep and asking questions. And what has gotten me to trusting myself more and trusting my intuition is feeling it, trusting that something is right there and just saying, God, show me what I'm feeling. Can you make this clear to me? Can you reveal what this is? I know when it is time, you are going to tell me exactly what I need to do, where I need to be. You're going to show me exactly what I need to see. You have the right at any moment to remove yourself. The balance that I'm talking about is we can either be completely closed off and afraid of ever opening up again. But if you are looking for something and if you are looking for love and if you are wanting to be in a healthy relationship, it's going to be important that you allow yourself to open up. I know it can be scary because the last time you opened up, you were still in that space, right? You were not in a space of trusting yourself. You had not done the work. You did not value yourself. You didn't know yourself. You didn't take that time to do all that. This was a different person. And it is normal to be nervous because you've never been this person. You never dated as this person. Some of your boundaries are going to be pushed because people know the old you and they don't know who you are now, and they don't know, the boundaries you've set and the ways you've changed. All the work you're doing is being put to test in real life. This goes back to isolation. Are you going to sit and isolate for the rest of your life? You're going to do the healing and then isolate and it's just you by yourself? If you are looking for connection, for friendships, for relationships, you have to be willing to open up. And you have to trust and let people be who they're going to be and let them show their true colors. Oof, that part. Let people show you who they are and then you believe them the first time. I operated as a full empath. I had compassion to a fault with no boundaries. And so I would see the good, and that's what I'm chasing, ignoring every red flag. So whoever's watching this, I'm here to tell you can still be a great person. Okay, you can be a compassionate person, you can be a kind person, and you can see the absolute good in someone. You can even see what their flaw is, and you may want to fix it, but let me tell you something. You don't have to. That's not your job. You can see the good in someone, and you can still have boundaries, and you can still walk away. You do not have to see the good in somebody to a fault of your own, to your own detriment. Okay, when you see those things, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. You don't have to be afraid to open yourself up because you always have the option of walking away. Owning your power and owning your right to decide and to choose intentionally and consciously who gets to be in your space. Now, although this video is not geared towards just feeling valued in relationships, that question did make me go down that path. I also wanted to ask this question because this can lead to you taking your own personal journey of learning your value and learning your worth. So the card I pulled today from my I'm Listening Self-Love Edition deck is, do I feel valued in the relationships I'm currently in? Again, this comes in a physical copy and a digital copy, and I'll put both links below. If you are just starting this journey of really, truly learning yourself and learning who you are, learning to fall in love with yourself and value who you are innately, who are you? What do you like about yourself? When you're by yourself, do you like yourself? What makes you happy? What makes you smile? What makes you laugh? What makes you giddy? Learning all those things about yourself really helps you to no, I really love this girl and I'm going to take care of her by all means necessary. And anybody that gets to come around her has to meet me there. Asking, do you feel valued in the relationships you currently are in, is a major, major key. And asking that consistently. I think I talked about this before, but I saw somebody that does an audit each year of their relationships and just seeing where are we right now? And I don't really love the audit because I feel like friendships and relationships go through seasons, right? I don't feel like audit it and be like, was this person here for me this year? Did they do anything for me? If not, cut. That is harsh. We're not doing that. But auditing to see, does this relationship fit into where I'm at right now? My values, my morals. Because again, if we've had long relationships, friendships, and things like that, time changes you. You grow, you change, you have experiences. And I know our community here, we are always healing and growing, right? And we're learning different parts of ourselves all the time. And so with that comes evaluating, what are we surrounding ourselves with? And is it healthy? And did we choose these things from an unhealthy space? It is extremely hard conversations to have. I'll give you this much comfort. Acknowledging that something may not be aligned for you is the first step. And you may not be able or ready to make a move immediately. But just acknowledge that something feels off. Just acknowledge that something is not aligned. That you don't feel valued in this friendship or relationship or job, or even in the environment you're in. Taking note of what's feeling out of alignment and the places that you're in that are not aligned with where you're going. Y'all know that I try to be as honest as possible, as real as possible. And what I know is real is that it is very hard to just end friendships, relationships, leave jobs. It's very hard. That is something that not a lot of people do in a drop of a dime. Some people do. Some people are just like, nope, I'm out. This is it. I'm making my changes. And that's great. But everybody doesn't do that. And so for the majority of people, I want you to know it's a huge first step to acknowledge it. Okay? Take note of it. Start to write about it. Start to think about it. Start to pray about it. And you start to brainstorm. Are there things that we can talk about? Are there things that we can fix? Are there things that we can come to alignment about? I don't like cancel culture. This is not exactly canceling, but like I feel like it fits into that. Like it's like the black or white culture. Like you're in or you're out. I'm cutting it right now, and for most people, it's a process and it takes time. And so I want you to know that as you start to learn yourself, as you start to love yourself, just because you don't automatically walk away from something and cut something off doesn't mean that the work is not working, that the healing is not working. You're human still. What's meant for you is meant for you. And I want you to stay committed to the work, committed to the healing, committed to yourself enough to know that when it's time, it will be time. And you will move on and you will find a way, and that you're strong enough to do that because you've been doing this work, and that's what this work is. All of this work that we do behind the scenes and with ourselves is to prepare us for the situations that happen in real life. It does not create a perfect world. It does not create a world where nothing bad happens, where nothing hurtful happens. It doesn't create a world where you're happy all the time. That's not the goal. That's not what we're here for. We're here to gain tools. We're here to strengthen ourselves. We're here to learn to not crumble anytime something goes wrong or not the way that we want it, but continuing to do the work and continuing to learn to love and value ourselves so much so that it's impossible. It feels unbearable for us to stay in situations and in places that we don't feel valued in. And I promise you that if you continue to do the work, if you continue to journal, if you continue to ask yourself the hard questions, do the shadow work, and answer these questions. And I know if you have the deck, y'all, I keep telling you, some of the questions come up and I want to skip it so bad because I just don't want to go there. And that's usually the questions we need to answer. Questions come up and I'm like, I know the answer to that, and I just don't feel like it. So it tells me I did something right with this deck. I'm a fan of cathartic crying. Let it out. Cry. Feel the things. Go to therapy, get out and learn yourself, date yourself. If you continue to do the work, things will fall into place as they should, because the universe is going to work on your behalf and some things are going to fall off naturally. I've had so many things that I have became aware of and felt so uncomfortable handling head on and just kept praying about and just like knowing that it needed to be resolved when I really wasn't sure what to do, like just kind of sitting and like talking to God about it and just talking out loud about it. And then a resolution comes without me having to do anything. So that doesn't happen for everything. Sometimes we know what we have to do, and that's the thing. There's a difference between knowing what you have to do and being like, I just don't want to do it, right? Sometimes things coming up and you really are just flustered. You just really don't know what the next best step is. And I've had a few situations like that where I'm just like, I don't know, but I know what I was told. I know what my heart feels, what my intuition feels. And it has to work out. And I'm just going to wait either for the answer to come through me and I'm going to take action, or I'm going to wait for it to resolve. And one of the two things happens. I get the answer. I get the opportunity. I get the clarification. I read the Instagram meme that I needed to spark something in me, or I read a part of a book that sparks something, or I'm having a conversation with somebody and they say something, or the thing resolves itself without me having to do anything. I've learned that sometimes you're going to get a message and God just wants you to relax. Just be still and know, and don't panic. Believe what you're feeling. Believe what's coming through you and sit with it. You don't have to fight. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to scream. Breathe through it, and then allow things to unfold the way they are supposed to. And so back to what I was originally saying, like if you are being called to leave something that feels like too much, it feels impossible. Give it time. Don't go back to unhealthy situations just for comfort or just familiarity. Don't fall into old ways and old habits because you're scared of what's to come. If you are going to do the work and if you are going to ask God and the universe to show you, a lot of times if you're praying for something, you get something that you don't even expect. Like if you're praying for peace, when things start falling off, when you get fired from that job, when something happens with that friend, when that relationship ends, you have to pay attention to what you asked for. If you asked for peace and things start falling off, those might have been the reasons you don't have peace. You have to pay attention to the signs that are coming through. You know, as we learn to value ourselves, our prayers become different, right? We want to be at peace. We want to be surrounded by people that also value us, that take what we have already cultivated and just pour into that. Make that stronger. Strengthen that foundation that are only going to elevate that and not break that down. And when you pray for that, God's going to put you in spaces and around people that are going to do that for you. But you have to trust how that process looks. And a lot of times we don't realize that that means other things have to be taken away. So be patient. And we already know this journey is not this like just linear up and everything is just going well. There's a lot of this that has to happen. You don't have to know the why right away. Just trust what you're being told and trust the work and trust yourself from this new space that you have cultivated, from this space of value, this space of worthiness. You're making different decisions because you are a different person, because you are actually who you are meant to be now. And that person that you have been trying to heal was not you. Was all the things you have picked up, was all the trauma, was all the things people told you were, and you believed it, and then you repeated it, and it became who you were. You became the anxious person. You became the mean and bitter person. You became the aggressive person. You became all of that. But you can let that down now. You can put that down. As you heal and as you get to see yourself, you get to be who you want to be. You get to let go of the parts that don't make sense, the parts that no longer fulfill you, the parts that make you feel bad at the end of the day, the parts that come out and you're like, I didn't even want to do that. I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to be that, right? Those parts, you can let them down. You can put them down, settle them down. You get to be who you want to be, but you have to trust this person now. Because this softer you, or this more healed you, this happier you, she wants to stay. And so she's going to give you inklings about, all right, baby girl, it's time. This ain't working. This job ain't cutting it. This career path ain't cutting it. These friendships, not it. This relationship, the way you've been talking to yourself, we're not doing that anymore. The procrastination, Once you value yourself, your time, you know how beautiful your life can be. You know how powerful you are. You want better. And it might not automatically click with your human self. Your brain has been working a certain way for a long time. And your body has been following it. So your brain thinks the thoughts, all the negative thoughts you used to have, and then your body follows with anxiety and with rushes of adrenaline and all the things. And that's what you've been used to. That's the pattern you've been used to. And so sometimes your soul does the work, and it takes a little time for your body to catch up. If your body is feeling like, I don't want to, I'm getting scared, I'm getting nervous, but your intuition is saying, start making a move away from here. This don't feel good no more. I want you to know that when you're healing, listen more to your intuition than you do your mind. What your mind is saying is logical because it looks like this, and what will they think? And whenever you're thinking about what someone else is thinking or anything outside of you, you're not coming from your most authentic space. You're not creating from your most authentic space. You're not creating your life from a true space of authenticity. So pay attention to that. What's meant for you is meant for you, and it never stops trying to find you. And that's the thing, is that you get to make mistakes, and that doesn't end your path. That doesn't end you getting where you want to get. Continue doing the work. Stay committed to yourself. Stay committed to truly loving and valuing yourself, and only expecting that from anything around you. I hope you loved this video. If you did, please make sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe and you turn on notifications so that you don't miss any new uploads. I hope you walk away from this feeling a little more empowered, and you watch it as many times as you need to. And until we meet again, my friends, keep living in love, in light, and in your truth. Mwah. Monday, tune in on Tuesday, tune in on Wednesday.